Hello friends, this is Jess from J Roso Chemic Art and welcome back to a new video. This one we are going to be doing a new con. It's always exciting to do a convention vlog and hopefully you guys get to enjoy this one. We're going to be starting straight into actually getting into the hall and preparing to set up and all those fun things, trying to get ready for a 2-day event. And then make sure you stick around for the end where I talk for a very long time. I apologize, I tried to cut it down, but I wanted to also include a lot of new information for you guys who are curious about doing your own possible, events in the future with selling your work or things of that nature. So, lots of things from cost of table, taxes, stuff like that. So if you're interested, make sure you stick around. But we'll go ahead and get started. Wow. In case you were wondering how it looks before a con is all set up, this is a good general idea at least. Yeah, I didn't realize until later that these panels were different colors of pink, but it's just gonna have to kind of work for now. They both kind of look similar enough that I think it's fine, but it is what it is, I suppose. So I'm trying to pack everything up for tomorrow morning, and I'm trying to go over things in my head and going kind of through the price list. I feel like that's the easiest way to make sure I have everything. So obviously we have stickers. The prints and sticker sheets are in the bin. We have shaker keychains, which are also in the bin, as well as the small keychains and acrylic pins and the heart enamel pins. That's all in there. The pillows are actually in one of the bins that's currently in my car. The plushie keychains are in that box. Clay items are still put away for now just because I feel like it's going to be easier to get them out the day of, because I don't want anything to obviously get moved around or broken. And then sticker books are obviously in that box. Bookmarks are also in here. And then the cauldron poles, it's currently in my garage, but we'll get them out later, so it's not a huge deal. And then within my bin, I also have, hi buddy, sorry. I have some mystery bags, some extra decorations. I'm thinking about bringing the gravestones as more added decoration to the table. Hopefully attract some people, but we'll see if that ends up coming out or not. Obviously on the desk I printed these out again just for more display things for the table. So I think I'm gonna put those on my, on the actual panels, and then hopefully it'll just be something fun that people will hopefully attract new people to come by. Well, after a couple of hours work, I have gotten these few pieces finished. So this is a new one. This is No Face, and he's got a little, I don't know if I want to say a cup or a plate of little coins, but I thought that was really cute. And then I made another one of my little graveyard ghosties. And then Cal Surfer over here is making breakfast. So I'm gonna throw all these into the oven here pretty quick and get it all baked and probably glaze it tomorrow morning, but we'll see how it goes. Pardon my coffee and supplies here, but I did finish sculpting, glazing, all of that good stuff last night with these guys. So this little graveyard ghost is all ready. No Face is collecting your money, but he'll also, he'll keep a doll safe for you. So, gotta offer some things to him every so often. And then Calcifer is also all ready. He is actually eating currently as well, but he's making some eggs and bacon and toast, so hopefully it sounds like a scrumptious meal for you. I also have all my boxes. I actually ran out of these yesterday, which was yikes. I felt bad for the people who purchased more clay stuff, but I wrapped it up super well, so thankfully I think it was okay anyway, but just gotta be on the safe side. And yeah, I'm excited for day 2. I'm actually really exhausted because I didn't sleep too well last night. But I'm still hopeful. That's why I got the coffee. I'm still hopeful that today will go well. Surprisingly, I was hoping that yesterday would be really good. There was lots of people, but I think because of the location, and I don't know this for sure, but they also had some bigger names, and I know that costs money to obviously get stuff signed, so between there was like a different people that were coming for, like, there's a famous wrestler that came to the convention, and actually one of the voice actors from Winnie the Pooh was there. So I think between those two, those were kind of the main draws for the crowd, and people went and got their things signed. But obviously signatures are expensive, so that's okay. People just, I think, spent more money on that, and then probably a little bit less on obviously like art, and it is like technically a comic show, and it's technically a comic and toy show, I suppose I should say, so, which is fine. It's also a little unfortunate, I'll talk about it more probably in depth later, that the artists, it felt like there were some that were like on the corners, but a lot of the artists and crafters were like on the back wall. So we were like facing a wall, and you'll probably see it obviously from the footage from yesterday. I'll try to take more footage today, and I'm actually hoping to cosplay today. So we'll see how that goes, but I will make sure to update you all as the day goes. The booth is all set up. I got the new things out really quick. Then I figured I would take one last look at the table here. This is just kind of an in-depth view of all of the things that were still left on my table after the con officially ended. So we ended up selling quite a few clay pieces, so that's why I ended up making some the night before, the second day of the convention. And then we did go through quite a few stickers. You can see that I didn't have many left of my calcifers. The pastel one, art print, was pretty popular, as well as some sticker books, so that was super exciting. Hello all, this is post-con Jess, coming back to you with some details about kind of my feelings about how it went, as well as some price breakdown for like the cost of the table. We're going to talk a little bit about taxes, and then obviously other things of that nature. So altogether, I feel that the convention, it went okay. I made my table fee back, which is always the goal. I feel like that's the most important thing, is that you at least break even, because I've had days where I did not, and that is not fun. But I do think that it was a little bit slower of a convention. I think that people were mostly there. There were like some bigger names for like people that were going to be not vendors, guests to like the convention. So people were more, which is totally fair, they were more interested in like meeting with them, getting signatures, chatting, things like that, which is a good thing. I'm glad people had that opportunity. But yeah, they were probably spending more money on that than they were on like actually going through all of the vendors and the exhibitors and the artists as well. So in that respect, it's understandable, but again, the main thing is that we broke even. The actual cost of the table, this is a very small convention. It's something that's, within driving distance for me, so it worked out well. But the actual cost of the table was $85, so pretty reasonable. Obviously, it's not going to be, if you're vending in a larger city like Chicago or Los Angeles or anything like that. And for like a bigger like convention or expo, or fan exhibit, I should say, then those tables are known to be quite a bit more expensive. So totally understandable. As far as like the things that I did sell, I, for the most part, sold a lot of stickers and a lot of clay pieces, which is amazing. I'm super happy about that. I will say there were these two ladies that they were super kind. They loved my work and it was very humbling. I felt so happy. But they actually purchased so one lady purchased 2 of my bigger clay pieces and another purchased 2 other clay pieces and a mystery bag. And altogether that pretty much paid for my table fee right there. So that was kind of amazing. Not that I'm like trying to upcharge people or anything like that, but I am trying to be a little more forthcoming and working on more giving my like clay pieces a more reasonable price for myself, because obviously I spend a lot of time on some of the more detailed pieces and it's not fair to me or to, you know, my customers as well, I would like to think, to, you know, charge them a fee the cost of the item, like to make it a lot cheaper just because I'm not as confident in myself. So I'm trying to work on my confidence, trying to price my pieces a little bit more reasonably, so that they're not like, you know, $4 for something that I spent, you know, X amount of time on. You know, I should try to be a little bit more like charging what I think is actually reasonable for the time, effort, the cost of materials, everything that I put into that piece. When I first started making my clay pieces, I was doing that quite a bit. So I'm trying to be better about it, trying to be a little bit more kind with myself and charge what I think is actually fair for my clay pieces. All in all, I will say for the most part, stickers was definitely typically what most people bought. Next being like most of my clay sculptures and friends and what have you. So, and then I would say probably art prints was the next biggest thing. A lot of people were very interested in Summerween. I just thought it was funny that a lot of people actually brought that up to me while I was, you know, at the table. They were bringing that up and saying like, oh, this definitely gives me Summerween vibes. And I'm like, oh, great. That's awesome, because that's hopefully what I want to present and, you know, keeping things spooky all year round. Spooky cute. I'm kind of babbling right now. Sorry, I'm tired, but it's okay. So I think that process, one of my prints that I have, I will maybe show if you look on my Instagram, or I'll try to show a picture here. There is a pink pastel cute little art print that has some ghosts, some very sweet pumpkins, things like that, and that was very popular, so I'm very appreciative of that. Otherwise, there were a lot of like clay ghosts that they hadn't been looked at, or like people were interested in it before, but they just really hadn't sold for quite a while. And a lot of people were interested in those, and they actually ended up purchasing them. So if you did end up purchasing anything from me, obviously I'm very grateful, of course. But it made me so happy to see that some of my older pieces that hadn't really found, you know, their forever homes, end up finding some wonderful homes at this past convention. So thank you for that. I will say I did end up making, obviously I showed it in the previous clip, I ended up making, you know, those 3 new kind of like Studio Ghibli themed clay pieces, and actually I was shocked. I had one sweet, it was a grandmother and her granddaughter, I believe. The granddaughter couldn't quite decide what exactly she wanted to pick between the 3 of them. She was very she loved all of them, which was that made me feel so happy. And yes, so they just ended up getting all 3 because they couldn't decide, and it was like, yeah, we'll take the whole shelf, because that's kind of how my setup is displayed. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So that was super humbling and very exciting. Again, I completely understand people have, you know, their own financial responsibilities and they're able to purchase things as they can. I am the same way, totally understand that. But to have like that happen a couple of times and people were saying, oh yeah, I'd like to get like these 2 or these 3 or like multiple of my pieces, it just made me really happy and really proud of like the amount of time and effort that I have put into my art, and hopefully that continues to show, and you know, I will continue to improve in my craft and continue to make pieces that make people happy. That was definitely one of the things that this past week has been extremely rough. I will not go into detail about exactly what has been happening because it is more of a personal matter. But it was nice to do this convention and kind of get my mind off those things, and just having such kind people that were really supportive and friendly, and it just really made my day. So thank you again to all of you who came by, stopped, said hello, chatted about like different anime or games or things like that that we both enjoyed, and I'm just so forever grateful. So thank you for that. Back more into the nitty-gritty though. Altogether, like I said, I ended up making my table fee back, which was amazing, and I did make some profit, so that's always the goal, obviously. So that was amazing, and we have to configure taxes as well. So thankfully for this event, I think most events they are pretty good about like, if you attend an event, this is like a paper to help you figure out taxes that you have to turn into your state. I can only say this for the state that I am in. Obviously, I'm sure that, you know, different events, vendor fees, things like that are obviously different for whatever kind of show that you're doing. So definitely, if you're thinking about looking into conventions or doing craft shows, exhibitor markets, things like that, you'll definitely want to like figure that out and communicate with the person that's organizing the event. But for me, thankfully, the organizers of that particular convention, they're always very sweet, very kind, and they're willing to work with you and answer questions as they can. But they actually do provide the sheet of paper. They actually passed it out to all of the vendors and artists and made sure that everyone knew like exactly what they needed to turn into the state for tax reasons. Obviously, the main thing is for me, I always keep track of like how much, like what exactly I've sold. Some people write it down. I also have my Square reader, so anything that was used with credit card sales, that's a good way to also look back and see, you know, what exactly you made during the day and, you know, who was buying. You can configure it and actually set it up to like have individual items as well. But I ended up just, you know, I usually write down exactly what was purchased so I know kind of what's more popular at the time, or like things that I might want to make more of, or things of that nature. So yeah, I have that all written down so I can go back obviously and configure what I need to pay for taxes. That's all taken care of, thankfully. It's usually not a hard process, because it actually, on the sheet, it gives you the like amount of sales that you had and multiply it by the sales tax, and then obviously that number is what you end up paying to the state, so not a big deal. One other thing that I didn't mention that I think it's important to talk about is kind of the price of actually affording all of the, you know, product design making. Yes, that's the word choice we're going to use for right now. Anyway, so yes, some products, they are obviously going to be a little bit more expensive depending on what you're making exactly. Over, you know, the last few years that I've been running my business, I've acquired like, you know, sticker paper. I make most of my stickers at home. Sometimes I do work with certain companies if I do end up using like different materials like the sparkly vinyl or glow in the dark, different effects like that. So in that case, the typical company that I use is Sticker App, and they're usually they're like a very nice, like good quality material. The price isn't too bad and you get quite a bit for what you order. I also have worked with Vogue Race obviously quite a bit as far as like my shaker keychains, the regular keychains that I've had, the acrylic pins, things of that nature. So I do also typically recommend them. Sometimes there have been issues, like small things, but if you reach out to them pretty quickly and let them know, then they're typically really good about either remaking it for you or giving you a refund. If you're willing to pay like for the shipping fee, then they'll do all that for you. So really good company that I like to work with. So because of that, I did order some sticker books and the newer keychains that I premiered kind of in the previous video. And between those two, I ended up getting like 30 keychains, 10 sticker books. Altogether, I think that was about $80. So that also obviously cuts into a big chunk of change. But also to keep in mind, those keychains and those sticker books, I did end up selling a few of both. But those things are also going to be brought with me for future conventions. So even though I might not see a return on it right away, again, you know, I'm going to be hopefully making that money back by selling those things in the future. So an important thing that I think it's also good to know is consider the price of how much it's going to cost to produce those things and take that into effect with how much you're going to charge for your items. Because you still also need to consider, again, not just the cost of the item, but again, how long did it take you to make that design? Is it super detailed? You know, what other effects do you have to take into the cost? So typically I would say as long as you're making, you know, obviously over the price of the production, as well as like the time and effort that you put into the piece, then I think you'll generally come up with a good price point. Again, sometimes I'm not always the best at this, but I'm starting to get better. I'm working on it. Another thing that I will say was an enjoyable experience, but also I think it really did help to kind of elevate the booth a little bit, was changing my setup. So again, when you're first starting out, you're not going to need to buy, you know, a ton of things to like make it look nice. You can if you want to, but I would recommend just keeping your setup simple. For one, just to figure out if you even like to do in-person events. You know, maybe you really are just someone who prefers to sell online, and that's perfectly okay. But I would recommend starting out simple, you know, getting a few things here and there, and as you are continuing to, you know, do more events, you know, sell at more places, then you can obviously purchase up and get more things. So as you could tell from my booth, I ended up buying some more of the displayed tablets. That's not the word that I'm looking for. The pink things that were on the table. This is not a good day, friends. It's okay. So I ended up getting more of those because I knew that I wanted to build up with my display. And I ended up also using some extra prints, because another place that I like to go to is Cat Print for my art prints typically. And again, very high quality. I've never actually had any issues with them, and they always send me like 5 to 10 extras of the prints that I've ordered, so that's also super nice. But anyway, I use like one of like an extra of each of the prints to be able to tape up on my display, so people can also have, you know, obviously a general idea of what I'm selling and making. I also ended up printing out a couple of my characters, and as well as my one of my actual illustrations. I printed it out on sticker paper, and just something again to kind of draw your eye and like look up and down, obviously, so you can catch people as they're walking by, so they know like, oh yeah, this is the girl that has all the spooky art stuff. So take that as you will. So I think that was actually a really good thing, because more people, you know, kind of caught their eye on like, oh gosh, hey, there's Persona 3, there's Thanatos, I recognize him, or oh, there's that Final Fantasy, I recognize that design, or, you know, things like that. Again, just all these things that you kind of have to consider in order to potentially, hopefully, catch people's eye and draw them into your table. Other than that, I did end up cosplaying for the very first time ever, actually. So I had purchased 2 different outfits. One was a Persona 3, like the female protagonist costume. I thought that was super cute, but I unfortunately ordered like a size smaller than I thought. I didn't realize my waist is unfortunately a little larger than I thought it would be necessary. and I probably should have read the reviews a little better, because a lot of people said that in their reviews, but that's neither here nor there. Moving on. It still fits and everything, it's fine. I just have to like scoot it up a little higher than I would normally be used to, because it's a skirt. So it's still usable and everything, but I will probably focus on that more once I've maybe lost a little more weight. Again, we're gonna ignore that. What I did end up wearing though was the Final Fantasy X Yuna cosplay. Obviously my fiance was very gracious and he took a little video for me and took a video of me behind the table, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Surprisingly, that outfit is also slightly too big for me, because learning my lesson from the Persona costume, I ordered a size up, and it's still a bit large, but I ended up finding like a paper clip and just kind of hooked it all up in the back, so that way things were not falling off. So, you know, you make things work, that's okay. Otherwise though, I do think that another important thing about doing a convention, obviously you're behind a table, you're interacting with customers, you know, things of that nature, so it's important to have an outfit that is comfortable, because you're either going to be sitting for long periods, you're going to be standing, you're going to be chatting with people. So for me, my comfort is obviously usually what I wear on a daily basis, a t-shirt and jeans when I am not in scrubs for work. So that's pretty much usually what I wear to most conventions anyway. The event hall that we were in was also very nice, super clean. Obviously we made sure to clean up after ourselves, and otherwise it was a little chilly in there, because obviously this is the middle of July and it was 90 plus degrees out and the humidity of 110%. Yes, very, very warm out there. So I'm glad that they kept the hall cool for the attendees as well as the vendors. So thank you very much for that. Otherwise, another way that you can kind of save on expenses, you can obviously, what we typically do is my fiance and I, we usually will make lunches or snacks or things to eat, so that way we're not, you know, buying more like food or water or things like that. And coffee is also, again, I don't drink coffee very often, but coffee might be your friend if you've been frazzled and trying to make new things overnight. But again, neither here nor there. Other than that, I did purchase a couple things from some fellow artists, so I will go show them to you really quick. Hold on just 1 second. So the very first thing we have is from the incredibly talented Jessie Likes Drawing, and I really loved this Kiki's Delivery Service print. I thought it was so pretty, and you can see there's like so much detail in like the town, obviously in Kiki herself and Gigi, and yeah, I just thought it was super cute. So he was actually the table that was sitting to the left of me, so incredible work there. Very much appreciated and super nice. Him and his fiance were very nice, and they had actually purchased a clay ghost for me the previous convention that we worked at together, so it was really cool to actually be by each other this time. We also have this spooky cute little potion bottle. It's Poor Unfortunate Souls. I believe it's been inspired by Ursula from Little Mermaid. But again, that was also from a table mate that was sitting to the right of me. Ironically, they were also at my very first convention that I did, and we've been doing like the same few events a few times now, so it was really nice we always kind of sit by each other, so we've gotten to become friends, and like hopefully we'll get to do more events together soon. But yes, that was from, they're friends and they share a table half the time, but that was from Roach Textiles, and let me pull up the name here. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry, and from Harley Easton's Extras. So yeah, very lovely ladies. They're super nice, and they have some incredible work. So again, look into them if you can. And I also ended up purchasing this cute little crochet snake. He is like super long. Perfect to like wrap around yourself when you're cold, when you're sitting in a exhibitor hall that's kind of frigid. But yeah, I unfortunately did not get the artist name of this one, but again, really nice work, super soft and Prince is absolutely loving this thing. Otherwise, I didn't purchase much else from any of the other exhibitors. I was mostly either sitting at my table chatting with people and customers and my fiance and our friend that came by, or just, yeah, having a good time at a con. I did walk around a little bit, but I do apologize. I didn't take a whole lot of video of like setting up or tearing down because obviously I didn't want the phone to get damaged while we were doing that. But hopefully in future cons, I can try and do a little bit better about that maybe, and also just take more filming while we're during the convention. Hopefully you guys got some good experience and something from this. Again, this is kind of a smaller event. I've not officially done a large event quite yet, but I think that it's still good experience, and I think it's interesting to hear from other people's stories. So if you have some stories that you would like to share in the comments, please feel free to leave them. Yeah, I'm tired, I'm sorry. But otherwise, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this one, and look forward to more videos in the next time. Hopefully we'll be getting back into more of a routine of getting some art in more consistently. Probably going to update the shop with some of the new products that I did purchase in time for this convention. And yeah, until then, I hope that you all have a wonderful day.